$200 million dud quarterback. Proof he's been bad.
Deshaun Watson is sitting on $230 million fully guaranteed, and right now that money looks like the worst investment in Cleveland Browns history. LeSean McCoy just went on the Speakeasy podcast and torched the idea that Watson deserves the starting job. This wasn't a soft take, this was a full dismantling. And while half the football world is arguing about trading away Shedeur Sanders, McCoy is asking the one question nobody in that building wants to answer out loud. Why would you get rid of the guy who's actually getting better? Here's where this all starts. A Cleveland radio host and ESPN Cleveland commentator went on air and floated an idea that stopped the whole fan base in its tracks. He said there's a real chance the Browns trade Shedeur Sanders, not bench him, not sit him for a year, trade him off the roster completely. His reasoning was that the Browns are leaning towards starting Deshaun Watson, and if that's the plan, then a rookie who can't crack the lineup as QB1 isn't equipped to be a backup either. He pointed out Shedeur went in the 5th round for a reason, like that number alone settles the argument, like a draft slot from over a year ago tells you everything you need to know about a guy heading into year 2. Now, on paper, this sounds like a hot take built for a radio segment and nothing more. But it's not just noise. It's a real conversation happening in league circles right now, because the Browns genuinely do not know who their quarterback is going to be in Week 1. Watson is finally healthy after tearing his Achilles twice in 4 months, missing all of 2025. Shedeur battled his way from 3rd string to starter as a rookie, going 3-4 in 7 starts after Joe Flacco got traded and Dylan Gabriel went down with a concussion. So you've got a former franchise quarterback trying to prove his body still works, and a rookie who already showed flashes but also threw 10 interceptions. Both stories have real question marks. That's exactly why a take like just trade Shedeur can catch fire, because it sounds decisive in a situation where the Browns front office has been anything but. And it's not like this idea came out of nowhere. Cleveland has been the punchline of the quarterback conversation for years now. Fans watch the front office mortgage 3 first-round picks and hand out a fully guaranteed extension for a player who has barely taken the field since. So when a local voice says just move on from the kid, it taps into a real frustration. People in that city are tired of watching the organization protect a decision that hasn't worked out. But here's the thing that gets lost in that radio segment. Nobody's phone is blowing up for a Shedeur Sanders trade. There is no market. Teams don't call up rival front offices asking to take on a 5th-round quarterback who's still finding his footing, especially not one who's shown flashes the way Shedeur has. And when LeSean McCoy heard this idea, he didn't just disagree with it. He broke down exactly why it doesn't hold up, and he did it in a way that turned the whole conversation upside down.
Cleveland Browns, ESPN Cleveland commentator radio show host had an idea about trading Shedeur Sanders. I'll let you guys take a listen.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to cut the crap here, and I'm just going to say it. And if you guys sling arrows at me, fine. Make me the bad guy. I think there's a real chance that the Browns are going to trade Shedeur Sanders now.
Stop right there, because this is where the take completely falls apart. LeSean McCoy didn't waste any time getting into it. His first move was to flip the whole premise. If the idea is start Watson, trade Shedeur, McCoy's response was simple. There's no future for Deshaun Watson, so why would you trade Shedeur? Then he laid out the receipts. Watson is the $200 million quarterback that everybody already knows the Browns aren't sticking with long term. McCoy said it plainly. You need more evidence? More proof? He's been bad. Bad. 11 times. He counted it out like a scoreboard, because in his mind, the tape has already made the argument. Since that 2022 trade, when Cleveland sent 3 first-round picks to Houston and signed Watson to that fully guaranteed extension, he's been one of the least effective starting quarterbacks in the league across his limited outings. Then McCoy pointed at Shedeur, a 5th-rounder, still getting better, still young, heading into year 2 with a brand-new head coach in Todd Monken. McCoy's question was blunt. Why not see what he's got? This is the part that actually matters. McCoy wasn't saying Shedeur is a finished product. He wasn't pretending the interceptions from last year didn't happen. What he was saying is that trading away a young quarterback who is still developing in order to protect a 30-year-old passer with a contract nobody believes in anymore makes zero sense from a roster-building standpoint. And when you actually think about the mechanics of it, McCoy's right to be confused. Who is the Browns supposed to be trading Shedeur to? What team is calling up Cleveland asking for a fifth-round quarterback who threw for 1,400 yards and 10 picks as a rookie? McCoy said it himself. If it was a more well-thought-out idea, he'd give it more of a listen. Instead, this is a plan that gives up assets for nothing and hands the keys to a quarterback who's given the organization no reason to trust him. That's the actual disconnect here. The radio idea treats Shedeur like he's the problem. McCoy is pointing out that the real problem has been standing under center in Cleveland since 2022, and everybody already knows it. What made McCoy's response land so hard is that he wasn't speaking as a hater. He's a guy who played the position at a high level for over a decade. He knows what it looks like when a quarterback is still developing versus when a quarterback has already shown you his ceiling. And in his eyes, Watson has already shown Cleveland exactly who he is across 3 seasons. There's no mystery left to solve there. The only mystery left in that building is whether the coaching staff is willing to admit it.
If Deshaun's going to start, the Browns should trade Shedeur. What do you make of the message?
There's no future for Deshaun Watson, so why would we trade Shedeur? It's something I don't even get. You got a $200 million dud quarterback that you know you're not going to stick with. I mean, do you need more evidence, more proof? He's been bad. You've been bad. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what more does he have to show you? And then you got Shedeur, who's a 5th rounder. I hear what he's saying, right? But we've seen he's getting better and better, and he's still young. He's in his 2nd year with a new head coach. Why not see what he got? That's why it don't even make no sense. What are we talking about? So he's going to trade him for who?
So if trading Shedeur doesn't add up, what would the Browns actually be left with? This is where the math gets ugly fast. Right now, on paper, the Browns already have one of the least experienced quarterback rooms in football. Watson at the top, coming off 2 straight Achilles tears. Dillon Gabriel behind him, Taylon Green, a rookie developmental project drafted this year. If you pull Shedeur Sanders out of that equation completely, you're not fixing anything. You're making the room worse. Think about what that actually looks like heading into a real NFL season. Deshaun Watson, unproven coming off injury as your starter, Dillon Gabriel as your primary backup, and now no Shedeur Sanders anywhere on the roster to step in if Watson gets hurt again, or if he simply plays like he has for the last few years. That's not a quarterback room, that's a countdown clock. And this is where the comparison gets interesting. Remember when the Dallas Cowboys traded a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance after his 2nd season with the 49ers? San Francisco had already given up on him. The league had already given up on him. And Trey Lance has started exactly 1 game in the last 4 years. If there was value out there for a former first-round bust like that, logically there has to be some value for a guy like Shedeur, who's actually shown flashes as a rookie starter. But even that comparison shows how thin the return would be. You're not getting a haul back for a 5th-round quarterback with 1 uneven season. You're getting scraps. So unless the front office knows something the public doesn't, unless Todd Monken is truly convinced that Taylon Green is ready to be QB2 behind Watson, there's no version of this trade that makes the roster better in 2026. You'd be selling low on a quarterback who's still improving to keep clinging to a quarterback who's already shown you exactly who he is. And here's the part that should worry Browns fans the most. If Watson goes out there and struggles again, and Gabriel or Green has to step in cold with 0 development behind Sanders, the organization is right back to square one, except now they've burned the one asset that actually gave them flexibility. You don't trade away your insurance policy right before the storm hits. That's basically what this idea does. It removes the one guy on the roster who's already proven he can handle real NFL snaps. all so the front office can keep protecting a contract that hasn't paid off since the day it was signed. Compare that to the alternative. Keep Shedeur on the roster, let him keep developing behind the scenes or in relief snaps, and you've got a legitimate contingency plan the second Watson shows any sign of the struggles that defined his last few seasons. That's not just smarter roster building, that's basic risk management. Any front office that's paying attention to how fragile this Watson situation actually is should be doing everything it can to keep its options open, not shutting the door on the one guy who's already proven he can step into chaos and hold his own.
Now, if you want to have a conversation in week 7, if Deshaun Watson got the Browns at 5-2, and you already know, you know what, Deshaun's only maybe 30, 31 years of age. He still might have some years left in him. Let me trade Shedeur for a 3rd-round pick. I drafted him in the 5th. Let me trade him for a 3rd. Use that draft capital with the 2 first rounds I have this upcoming year. Bet. If you want to say to yourself, keeping Shedeur as a backup quarterback does more damage than it does good just because of the stress that it puts on the organization to play somebody even though he might not be ready to be played, I hear you. But to trade Shedeur right now when Dylan Gabriel's your backup quarterback and Deshaun Watson's your starter, you already have the worst quarterback room in the NFL. If you trade Shedeur Sanders and now you're going into a season with Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel, you might have one of the worst quarterback rooms in the history of the NFL.
Now, rewind to the actual reason none of this trade talk even matters yet. Here's the part that nobody wants to say out loud, but everybody in that Cleveland building already knows. Deshaun Watson is starting week 1. Not because he's earned it on the field this camp, because of the money. The Browns are on the books for roughly $44.7 million against the cap for Watson this season alone. That's not a number you bench for depth chart pride. That's a number that forces a franchise's hand whether they want it to or not. Paying somebody that kind of money to sit and hold a clipboard isn't just a football decision, it's a business decision, and business usually wins. And that's exactly the trap the Browns have built for themselves. It's not that nobody in that building sees what Watson has looked like in camp. Reports out of Cleveland have already pointed to interceptions piling up in practice, to a quarterback who looked good early in OTAs and then tailed off. It's that the front office is stuck justifying a deal they can't walk away from, at least not yet. Which is exactly why Shedeur shouldn't want out, even if Watson wins the job to start the year. Patience here isn't weakness, it's strategy. If Watson goes out there in September and plays anything like he has since 2022, the leash is going to be short. And when that leash runs out, Shedeur is the one standing right there, a year older, a year more experienced, ready to take the reps back exactly like he did as a rookie. That's the story that gets buried under all the trade chatter. Shedeur already proved he can walk into a chaotic quarterback room and take command of it. He did it last year when Flacco got dealt from under him, watched Gabriel go down, and had to prove himself in real time with the whole league watching. That kind of experience doesn't disappear. If Watson opens the season and struggles again, Shedeur isn't walking into a new pressure situation. He's walking into a version of the exact scenario he's already handled once. That's the quiet advantage nobody's talking about while everyone argues about trades that were never actually going to happen.
So he's going to start, but I think Shedeur going to play a lot early this year, and I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, I mean, Kieran, you chime in, close the thought.
I'm going to the camp in 2 weeks. I'm going to let you know.
Please do. Shedeur Sanders, should he want out?
No, he should want to get an opportunity to play this year, and I think with the Browns, that's probably his best opportunity to play this season. So I think it's a wait. If Deshaun Watson goes out there and shows that he's the same Deshaun Watson that we've seen him be the past couple of times that we've seen him play quarterback for the Browns, you're going to get your opportunity to start. And this time, there is no... Yeah. You get some leniency because you're a rookie. You have to go out there and you have to perform. You have to start winning some games.
Yeah.
And you have to look good while doing it. You need to at least do what Tyler Shuck did last year.
Yeah.
And that's the pressure on Shedeur Sanders. But it's make or break it time for him now. This is probably the best opportunity that a 5th round quarterback can get heading into year 2.
That's a good point.
I'm sitting behind a guy. I'm second string, and I'm sitting behind a dude that is nobody expects to make it all the way through the season. I should get my opportunity. So I think it's a great situation for Shedeur.
Yeah.
Here's the bold claim nobody wants to make. This isn't a quarterback controversy, it's a countdown. Let's lay it all out one more time. A Cleveland radio host floated trading Shedeur Sanders because Watson is likely to start. LeSean McCoy shut that down almost instantly, calling Watson exactly what the tape says he is, a $200 million quarterback who hasn't given this organization a real reason to trust him since the trade happened. McCoy's point wasn't emotional, it was roster math. You don't trade away a young, improving quarterback to protect a declining, fully guaranteed contract that's already failed to deliver for 3 straight seasons. And the deeper you dig into this, the more obvious it becomes. Watson starts because of the cap number, not because he's out playing Shedeur in camp. That's not speculation, that's just how guaranteed money works in the NFL. But guaranteed money doesn't guarantee performance, and if Watson struggles like he has before, Shedeur is right there, more experienced, more developed, and fully ready to take the job back. So no, the Browns shouldn't trade Shedeur Sanders, not this year, not with this quarterback room, not for anything close to fair value. The real story in Cleveland isn't whether Shedeur deserves a roster spot, it's how much longer the Browns can keep justifying Deshaun Watson's job security with a contract instead of results. And the second that leash runs out, the guy already standing in the wings is the one this whole radio segment wanted gone. So here's the real question heading into week 1. Do you think Deshaun Watson holds on to the starting job all season, or does Shedeur Sanders take it back before Halloween? Whichever side you're on, you know Cleveland's about to find out the hard way. Drop your answer in the comments and let us know why. Smash like and subscribe.